Alright guys, today we are going to start practicing and reviewing the concept of dividing fractions. It's very important that we remember some key things that you've learned before about division of fractions. When we divide fractions, this first start point, I'm going to read that right there and we're going to copy that in our interactive notebook. Dividing fractions is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of the second fraction. Okay? This word reciprocal is going to be very, very important for us to understand and be very comfortable with. So, below writing our first statement, we're going to have this two-starred key term reciprocals. And we're going to make sure we understand that reciprocals are numbers whose product is 1. Okay, so we need to have two numbers. So, let me give you some examples of what that would look like. So, it could be like 1/2 times the reciprocal, which would be 2. Which 2 as a fraction, since 1/2 is a fraction, is really 2 over 1. Okay, we know that we're going to end up getting 2 over 2, which is just 1. Okay, another example could be something like 3/4. Well, the reciprocal of 3/4 is the number that I can multiply by it to get 1, and that's going to be 4/3. That ends up being 12 over 12, which is 1. Okay? Okay, so another way that we could think about reciprocals then is that a reciprocal is kind of the flipped over version of a fraction, or even a whole number, understanding that a whole number could be written as a fraction, like we did right here with 2 over 1. Okay, flip it over and we get 1/2, or 3/4, its reciprocal is 4/3. Okay, so this idea of reciprocal is important as we move forward, guys. When we divide fractions, we're really going to multiply by the reciprocal. Here's a good example. Okay. Okay, so here's some examples. So to prove that the division of fractions is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal, I'm going to start with a very easy problem that won't even look like a fraction if we think about it. 4 divided by 2. Okay, well, everyone knows that 4 divided by 2 is 2, but hopefully we can begin recognizing that we could actually write this as a fraction problem. 4 over 1 divided by 2 over 1. Okay, now since we know our math facts and we're really comfortable with this one, it's kind of it makes it a little bit of a waste of time, but it does help us to see the concept that applies here. So when we divide by 2, it's the same as taking 4 over 1 and taking half of it, right? So we have 4 over 1 times 1/2 is the same thing as 4 divided by 2. We know this answer is 2. Well, here we go. We'll do our multiplication fraction steps. We can divide out a common factor of 2 over 2 here. Okay, there it is. So this becomes 2, that becomes 1. Sure enough, 2 times 1 is 2. I'm going to go down here. And 1 times 1 is 1. So we get 2. And we have the same answer in both places. Okay? So to use a very simple integer division problem, we can convert it to a fraction, like we did right here, and begin to see that, hey, if I take and divide 4 by 2, it's the same as multiplying 4 by 1/2. Or the reciprocal, again, remember, this is the reciprocal of 2 that we started with. Okay, so this is going to work for us as we continue to practice today. Alright, let's get to some real division of fraction problems. Here we go. Number 2, we have 7/8 divided by 1/4. Let me get my little division sign a little better there. Okay, now, same thing here. So what we can do is just like we saw on the last slide. I'm going to go back once just so we can remind ourselves. We took and said 4 divided by 2 is 4 over 1 divided by 2 over 1. There's our fraction problem right here. Okay, and that's the same thing as 4 over 1 times 1/2. So we leave the first fraction alone, change division to multiplication, and take the reciprocal of the second number. So let's do that over here. So we're going to have 7/8. Okay. 7/8 times the reciprocal of 1/4. Now we got to ask ourselves, what's the reciprocal of 1/4? Well, it's whatever you multiply 1/4 by to get 1, which is 1/4 flipped over, or 4/1. So here we go. 4/1. Okay, so it just becomes a fraction multiplication problem, which is really nice. Let's put over one fraction bar. We can see a common factor to divide out would be 4/4, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, let's rewrite what we have. We now have 7 times 1 over 2 times 1, which is 7/2. And that's improper. That's good for now, but we also need to go ahead and make sure that we can take it to a mixed number. So that is 7 divided by 2. 7 is divided by 2 3 times, with a remainder of 1, the 1/2, so we get 3 1/2. Alright, so all fraction division is simply taking and changing division to multiplication and multiplying by the reciprocal of the second number. So we're really focusing on that second number that we're dividing by, okay? And if we can flip it over, we've got multiplication, and we're doing the same thing we've been doing for the past couple days.